Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants.
Hey guys, Rogue Nation here with you today. How you doing? We're going to be a video here. We're doing an interview here. This young lady, she's going to be telling her story. Sad story. Of course, the people involved are connected to the government. The gentleman, her landlord that she's going to be talking about, Michael Moore, he's a brother of the former sheriff, and his wife worked in the state's attorney's office for over 21 years. So well-connected people, and you know, this is what happens. This is how they treat people that are not well-connected. So enjoy the video. Also, happy Labor Day to everybody out there watching. Thanks, folks, again for all your support. And I'll be going over at the end of the video. I'll be showing some of the documents and going over some of the stuff. Alright, so enjoy. Alright guys, I'm Rogue Nation, as you know. This young lady, Velma Lockhart, and we're here in Bonifay tonight, Pizza Hut, and we're going to go over the story here that this young lady has to share, and we're going to be bringing it out to you folks, and hopefully we can all work together and get some answers here for this young lady, and maybe get some consequences and repercussions for people that are, you know, illegally and illicitly going about life. So we're going to let her tell her story. We have a lot of evidence that we'll be putting in clips into the video, and we'll be doing some of our own record requests and sniffing around trying to find some of these guys and get some answers. So without further ado, we'll let this young lady start off by telling her story, and we're going to start from day one when she rented this home from this Michael Moore, not the filmmaker.
No, definitely not the filmmaker. So I rented a mobile home for Mike Moore. Move-in date was February 1st. Moved in that weekend, started moving our stuff in. That Sunday, I believe it might have been Sunday, but I know I had COVID at the time, so I wasn't present. My son was there dropping things off with everyone, and his son-in-law, Hunter, showed up, seen my son, and became fearful because he had seen a large black man. So he went out of the home, he called Mike Moore, the man I was renting from, and told him that there was a big black man there. The next day, when I had picked the kids up from school and came back, they were waiting in the yard. So I rushed the kids inside the house. They stood on the porch, they didn't want to go get first. And they come at me from both angles, and I'm standing on the steps. And that's when the racial they began calling my kids the N-word. We don't live here. It was my children in the house. I told them about this time a friend of mine was on the phone, speakerphone, and Mike Moore stated that he was going to increase my rent. He had only rented to me. He didn't know I had kids. He didn't know that they were black. He didn't, it was just horrible. And I was scared because these are two men at me and there's no one else there to be with kids. So fast forward, for a few days later, I hired an attorney because the living conditions that the home hadn't been fixed yet. There was holes in the wall, the latrines didn't work, none of the toilets worked. The shower didn't work, the tub didn't work. It was one working shower in the whole trailer. The electrical wiring wasn't fixed. It was horrible. I paid the attorney. He filed the paperwork. Said that, you know, we'll get something done. He's in violation of this lease, not you. Well, around the 14th of February is when he went to my son on a Saturday and served him because I wasn't home with his first set of questions. He questioned my 14-year-old son, who was living there, was my friend that he knew in Bonifay, who I was seeing, or was it my roommate? And my son was scared. He was like, I don't know, my mom don't have a girlfriend. And he was like, will you give this to your mom? And you were moving out. Brady shut the door. He said, call guy just left and I was scared. So I rushed back home. There was a notice on the door by him, by my door. And then he began texting my phone. So I saved the text messages. By the time he was served from the attorneys that White I had hired, that's when it got really bad. He began riding by the trailer at night, different times, different vehicles. He would take pictures, he would walk in the yard. It was just ongoing. I would literally sit on my porch and would not go to bed, waiting for him just to come into the home. I just knew he was at some point there for me to be in. Fast forward again, he sent another eviction through the sheriff's department, but it was not signed by a judge. So I decided there's no reason to fight anymore. The lawyer told me to give up, then nothing to do about it. So I did. So March 16th, I began moving our things. It was a losing battle. He had already refused the rent. The clerk's office, when I was trying to fight it, wouldn't even give me a case number to pay my rent, to fight, that he violated the lease, not me. Well, then, as I'm moving on the 16th, he pulls into the yard in his red truck. A friend of mine was there, and my dog was there. My dog jumped out of the car, ran to the truck. I tried to run over my dog. And he screamed out, "The niggers ain't left yet, the niggers ain't left yet." Thankfully, the kids were there, and I was there. So I ran to go get my dog, because he was going to hit my dog. And I seen him in his truck, and I did cuss him. I cussed him for everything he did.
Absolutely.
And he moved his right hand quickly, and it scared me. And I said, "Are you going to shoot me? Do you have a gun?" And he did. He claimed that I assaulted him. I never touched him. He said I beat him. Never touched him. There's no evidence I did. Next thing you know, sheriff's department is circling the trailer. They're all there. I wasn't arrested that day. I have the proof that they've changed it. They were going to charge me with burglary battery because he claimed that I went in through the truck that was dragging him and beat him. He made it a point, as I was still trying to load the things out of my home, to continue to ride by after that alleged assault and keep trying to provoke me. They did not arrest me that day. I never got arrested, but I did have to. There were several witnesses that's heard him say the things that he said about my children. My children heard it. My daughter is 9 years old, and she's in therapy. I've got her in counseling because it's been traumatic. We've been homeless since then. We've lived in a hotel. But the thing is Mike Moore, his brother is the former sheriff. He's the former jail administrator. His wife, Sherry, worked for the very judge that prosecuted me. I know I'm probably fighting a losing battle, but interracial and black families in Bonifay, in Holmes County, don't have a fighting chance. So when I got to court for this alleged assault, they postponed my next court date to the following month. Okay? So I'll show back up again. But during that time, they'll tell you, you're not getting a public defender, your charge is going to stay the same, this is all you're being offered. This is it, so the public defender will tell you that too. So the second time I went to court to accept my punishment, because there was no sense of fighting, because our lawyers, they're pretty expensive, and when you're homeless, you really can't.
Right.
So the day I went to court, one of the friends of Sherry Moore, which is Mike's wife, spoke on the victim's behalf. And they didn't, I'd never been in trouble with them. I've never been arrested. I've never, nothing.
So did they, I'm going to cut you off, what did they say was the reason why Mike couldn't speak? Or why was this lady speaking on his behalf? Well, I know.
No one said anything as to why. I just know that he claims that he's afraid of me.
Well, even, I mean, that doesn't make no sense. How,
He didn't show up there. The wife wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
The woman in the courtroom wasn't there. It was my friend, myself, and Mike. And even with my friend's statement. And even the proof, the photo evidence, everything. Where they
Which we're going to
changed
show you guys the photos and everything we got. So you went to court. They told you, this is what you're getting.
This is it.
You don't get a lawyer.
You're not getting a lawyer. You get your own lawyer. You go talk to the public defender, but this is all you're getting. This is it. We're not going to put you in. That's what they tell everyone, whether you've ever been in trouble before or not. The public defender will stand in the courtroom with the prosecutor right before the judge enters and let you know this is how it's going to be. You're either going to agree to it or it's still going to be the same outcome. Because this is always being offered or you're going to go to jail. Everybody does.
So you went to court, they found you guilty or gave you the plea, and you got what?
Probation for 9 months, 10 hours community service, no contact with the alleged victim, what they call him, over almost $1,400 for the fines. Everything's been paid as of today. They wouldn't accept my community hour services.
Because you went to...
Yeah, I went to a gay nonprofit organization in a neighboring county, but they wouldn't accept the hours. So the probation people, Donnie Justice is the name, and the other one is Tanya Cook. So they have to choose for you. It's going to be a religious organization or Salvation Army. It's at their discretion. So they didn't accept it, so I bought out my hours too.
Okay. So you had the community service, got that taken care of.
Fines are paid.
Fines are paid, so all you're doing now is waiting for the time to come off. This happened in March, so what are we looking at?
I was supposed to be able to be released within 4.5 months, but the victim didn't want that. So they're not sure if they're going to release me or not come November 1st. I may have to do 4 months. The victim got to make a lot of decisions because of the law, some kind of safety law for victims of domestic violence or assault. So he got to choose some things. But the judge did see that I had never been in trouble before, so at least he went light and gave me his heart and he died. But it costs a lot of money when you're homeless. So racism.
Right. Alright. And we've got all the documented evidence of all this stuff, guys. And again, this is Holmes County. This young lady was the one that helped us find Mrs. Owens, Crystal Owens, which you guys saw just a couple weeks ago. With her son, we had to come down and pretty much force the sheriff to take a report on that, which I don't know if you knew, but she texted me back and said they're not going to prosecute. Not going to prosecute, or even, I guess, probably not even investigate, because from what I'm understanding, they don't believe that the mother had anything to do with it.
Oh yeah, they're claiming it was just the 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl, but the young man that was missing was a 15, 16-year-old child in the custody of an adult that he wasn't supposed to be. They took him without the mother's permission.
Right, and even so, I mean,
they tattooed it.
Yeah.
The adult did it as well, and they're getting away with it. They gave the gun, they did the tattoo. It's just horrible. But this is an ongoing cycle, and the thing is that currently in my situation, I reported it within the first week of the discrimination, the verbal attack on my children, calling them the N-word, and that they don't rent to our kind. He said, we don't rent to you kind of people, and what kind of people are you? A family. But I contacted immediately, I made an online report to the housing discrimination in Tallahassee, and that was the first week in February. So that's currently being investigated by them, but I'm not going to believe that a good outcome is going to come of that because my one's never rented to an African American. The time before me that I dug around and found out that he rented to another white woman who now lives in Shipley last I knew. As soon as he found out that her children were black and their father was black because he come to pick them up, he evicted her. She had to scramble around and move to Washington County, and my understanding is that she is not going to speak out because she is afraid of it and what can happen to her and her kids. And I totally understand.
Yeah.
There's no way to tell your kids. Mom, I've been homeless now and I have 7 months. Why it's so hard to get back on your feet when everything's been taken from you. Your possessions have been taken, to everything, and we've still not even been legally evicted from that one. He has cost me a job, has lost so much. And because of who he is, and who his brother is, and who this person is, and that he eats dinner with this person, this group of old boys. Racism is alive and well in the Panhandle of Florida. Discrimination. How many work with police force? How many minorities?
No.
None of our kids here.
No.
I'm not here anymore. I'm living in a hotel far away from here right now. But how many of our children that are different, that are black, that are Hispanic, how many do they have to go to and see that police officer and say, I'm not afraid of you because you look like me, you're not going to hurt me? Because it's really like that. You think these people will beat the shit out of you if they get away with it. One way or another. They're either going to physically get you or physically get you. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
And until it happens to you, you don't believe racism exists, well, you're part of the problem because you close your eyes to it. It's real. It's very real. That 16-year-old missing boy needed to be found immediately, no different than a 16-year-old white girl. So that's not going to be the same.
No.
Because you're in homes now.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And this is old money, old rich money, and good old boys.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That's you know, we looked at the demographics, and I mean, this county is severely underrepresented in minority-wise. I mean, not just the police department,
No.
city hall,
Yes.
city commissioners.
School.
I didn't even look into the school. It was bad enough what I saw, you know, like.
I'm so glad I kept my children in the other county that we come from. I never thought it might have killed me. My oldest daughter's 29, so this isn't my first rodeo with racism. I've just finally kind of got the balls to say, I've had enough. I'll take the blows. Throw the blows at me. Don't come at my kids. 29 years saying the same damn thing. And nothing stopped. It's still here. And I didn't want to come and get upset, but it's after a while it can break.
Yeah, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, because you know what, this is exactly the kind of stuff that we're trying to prevent from happening. You know?
And I can't find a civil rights attorney. I can't find anyone that at least walk me through the process of what I do next, because how do I get, at least, I'm not getting my possessions back that when he took over the home the day that I allegedly assaulted and beat him. I can't file the charges on him because it's burglary. It's theft. He stole my property. We weren't out in our home. But I'm scared to do it because if I go up against him, they're going to violate me. They've told, when a friend of mine called the probation office to assist me with getting the fines paid, they put my personal medical information out there to them. They have no filter. These people are not professional. They're not caring. You will not see one minority at that courthouse. You won't see them. And there's nothing here. There's nothing here. And then you have really good people, but there's so few and far between. It's hard to find them. It is hard.
Yeah, and like I said, you and Crystal, you guys aren't the only ones that have contacted me about this situation here in Holmes County, you know. My buddy Rex Christie, I was telling you earlier, has a friend that lives up here, and so we're getting credible reports of just disgusting behavior, really disgusting behavior, you know, because everybody's a person, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, and in this day and age to have this kind of stuff going on, you know what I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. Discrimination in housing, like, there shouldn't be any place in America like that. Nowhere in America should be like that.
It wasn't relevant what the completion, not kids, but he knew 2 children, 2 adults, and a service animal were moving. He got all of that money from me, and the very next day, you didn't tell me. Why was I supposed to disclose my children's coloring?
Right,
What would that have to do with anything? You're getting this money. I'm paying you for 1 year.
Yeah.
No.
thank you
Thank you.
for sharing the story, and we will put this together when I get home, and do some more digging. I might stop in and talk to some of these people tomorrow just to see if they have anything to say for themselves. But I will make it known that if you do have any sort of retaliation because of sharing the story, then there will definitely be consequences coming from our side. I'll bring all the battle buddies, and we'll sit outside these people's homes, and we'll watch every move they make, and until we can find something dirty on them, because they're all dirty. They're all dirty. So, I mean, and that's just something that we have to do, because there's no other way to do it. We tried doing it, we tried doing it the right way, and there's nothing's going on, so we're going to have to expose them for what they are and what they do. Alright guys, we're going to be going over some of the documents and stuff, so we're going to bring this up, take a look at it. I tried to enlarge it already to make it easier for everybody to see, so we'll see how that goes. Doesn't look like it. Oh, there we go. Alright, so this is like the incident report, and talks a little bit about what happened. This is when she was arrested. Now, the landlord came to her house. It's March 16th. He said that she put hands on him. She says she didn't, or she couldn't remember if she did grab his shirt per se. But as you'll see with the photographs, there's no injuries or red marks on his neck. If she would supposedly she grabbed him by his neck is what he was saying. There was a witness there. They didn't see it. They didn't see her putting hands on. Let's see, this is a picture of the gentleman's neck. It's taking a minute to load. But yeah, there's no pictures of any redness, of any marks, scratches, anything on this gentleman's neck. We got a couple different pictures of it on both sides, so we'll go through that real quick. That's my flash, sorry about that. But yeah, there's no pictures of no red marks. Now, that's specifically why she didn't get arrested that day. Because the officer said there's no marks there. Let's see if we can find that. There is a witness statement here too that I want to go over. Yeah, this is one of the witnesses. This is one of the witnesses' statements here. It says Mrs. Lockhart was involved in a dispute with Mr. Moore regarding her tenant status. He didn't see anything. But he did say that he drove to Mr. Moore's door of the vehicle, and he said that she had put her hands on me. And at no time did I see Mrs. Lockhart strike Mr. Moore. Alright, this is the witness statement here, and this is the one that's the important one here. On December 13th, at approximately 2 p.m., Mike Moore called me and asked if Velma Lockhart was still looking for a place to rent. So this gentleman here, whoever this gentleman is, he set up the moving in part. It said that Velma was with her daughter Kaylee, and she informed Mr. Moore that she had a roommate and a son. And he was in a hurry to rent. He said HUD was pressuring him. She gave him money. Said they gave him the key and said he would be in and out throughout the weekend working on a few things they needed to repair. Now, from what I understand, neither of the toilets worked. There were some holes in the drywall. The place was just in disrepair to begin with. Okay, on January 29th, Mike Moore met Billy Thurman, Velma's roommate, and her son, Brady Brown. I remember Mike Moore stating that he enjoyed seeing the faces of children as they moved into one of his houses. Kayla even told Mike Moore where everyone would be sleeping. On January 31st, I received a text from Mike Moore that stated, "Give me a call when you could talk to me in private." I called him and he told me that Hunter Marshall, his son-in-law, who was assuming his rental business, was at the house working on it. Mike then said, "Who is that black man sleeping in the back bedroom?" I responded that it was her son. Mike Moore then said, "I didn't rent the place to her and her children. I only rented it to her and her dog. I don't do business like that. She never told me those kids were going to be living here, and I can't have that." He then asked, "Who is Billy?" I told him that was her roommate. He then told me, "She's got to go." Okay, this is 3 days. January 28th, 29th. On 31st, he got the text message. This is 3 days after they've been given the key and asked to move in. So what other reason could there be, except for a racial reason, to get these people out of this house? Okay, that's just a witness statement over again. So, here's a picture of the toilets. You can see both of them. Both of them don't have any tank lids. But from my understanding, neither one of them worked when they moved in. It might have been something that they were supposedly working on, but definitely in a state of disrepair. And again, just crushed this lady. She had no money to move, because of these false charges that he put on her. She's not even able to work. And what's really sad, I don't know if she'll tell it in the story, but I want to make sure that people understand this. When she went to court for these charges of her supposedly assaulting the landlord wasn't there. No one was there except a family friend of the landlord, and they allowed the family friend to testify in the landlord's place. This lady wasn't even at the incident, so I don't know how the hell they allowed her to testify. I am requesting body cam footage, and I am requesting court transcripts in this case. So we will keep you guys up to date on it. It is being looked at by the Florida Housing Authority in Tallahassee for possible discrimination. So we're going to try to keep on them. I don't have the links in there yet, but I will put the links in there. If you guys come back in a day or two, I'll have the phone numbers of places to call maybe and get some redress and see if we can get this lady some help. And we'll go from there. And I'll try to keep you guys updated as much as I know. This is in Holmes County. It's the same county that I just did a story on where they would not take that young black lady's report. And I told you, I said there's feelings of racism in this area, and as you'll see, we'll have more stories like this. I'm sure that'll come out, because as I expose this stuff, other people become aware of it and they contact me. So I'm getting a buttload of information from everywhere now. It's actually crazy, and I'm gonna try to keep up with everything. Also, guys, in the pinned comment, I do have some links to a Go Give Said and Go. I do have a criminal trial coming up at the end of October or somewhere thereabouts for Paulding County for my last arrest. I'm facing a felony, so I would love to try to get a lawyer for it. It's probably going to cost about $5,000, so I got the link up there. If anybody can help out, I'd much appreciate it. I can't really afford to go to jail, as I'm the only one that's working here for the family. So if you guys have anything to spare, please try to help me out there on that lawyer. I definitely need it. With all that said, guys, we'll keep you updated on this, and we'll keep getting content to you. All right. Thanks again, guys.